Imagine sitting across from the person you love, knowing exactly what you want, and still feeling your throat tighten. Not because the desire is wrong, but because you're afraid. Afraid of being judged. Afraid of sounding needy. Afraid that once the words leave your mouth, something between you might change forever. And this is the exact moment when most people stay silent. They tell themselves, "It's not that important," or "I'll bring it up another time." And that silence slowly turns into distance. Today, I want to show you how to talk about your desires without shame, in a way that creates closeness instead of tension. Stay with me until the end, because I'll give you concrete sentences you can actually use, even if these conversations have always felt overwhelming or uncomfortable for you. Here's the truth we rarely talk about. Shame doesn't come from desire. Shame comes from the belief that our needs make us unlovable, difficult, or too much. And yet desires, emotional, physical, relational, are not flaws. They are signals. They show us where connection wants to grow. The problem is that many of us learned to hide our needs early on. We learned that wanting more closeness, more affection, or more intimacy could lead to rejection. So when we finally speak, we often do it from frustration or fear. We say things like, "You never," or "I always feel unwanted," hoping to be understood, but instead triggering defensiveness. That's why the first key to speaking without shame is this: talk about yourself, not about what the other person is doing wrong. Instead of saying, "You never show me affection," try this: "Lately, I've been needing more affection because it helps me feel secure and close to you." Instead of, "You don't want me anymore," say, "I want to talk about intimacy because it's important to me and I miss feeling connected to you." The need doesn't change, but the way it lands does. The second key is understanding that desire is an invitation, not a demand. Shame often shows up because we're terrified of hearing no. So we protect ourselves by attacking, withdrawing, or minimizing what we want. But when you leave room for the other person, the conversation softens. You can say, "I'm not sure how this feels for you, but I want to share what's been coming up for me." Or, "I don't expect you to fix this right now. I just want to be honest with you." These sentences lower the emotional threat and make real dialogue possible. Now here's something powerful that most people skip. Name the vulnerability underneath. Shame loses its power when it's spoken out loud. You might say, "This is a little hard for me to say because it really matters to me." Or, "I feel nervous bringing this up, but I trust you enough to be honest." This doesn't make you weak. It makes you emotionally present. And emotional presence is what builds true intimacy, far more than perfect timing or perfect words. There's one sentence that can completely reframe these conversations, and I want you to really hear it. "My desires are not a criticism of you. They're information about me." Let that sink in. Your needs are not an accusation. They are a map. They show where love can deepen, where understanding can grow, where two people can meet more truthfully. When desires stay unspoken, they don't disappear. They turn into resentment, emotional distance, or quiet loneliness inside the relationship. You can be next to someone and still feel unseen. But when desires are spoken with clarity and compassion, they become bridges. And yes, sometimes the response won't be perfect. Sometimes it will be awkward. Sometimes it will take more than one conversation. But the goal isn't perfection. The goal is connection. If this topic touches something real in you, know this: you're not broken for wanting what you want. On Decode Love, we talk about relationships without sugarcoating, but always with empathy. If you want to learn how to communicate needs, boundaries, and emotions without fear or shame, subscribe to the channel. And if this video gave you even a small sense of relief or courage, let me know by liking it. Because the more we talk about desire without shame, the more space we create for real love to exist.